Well, screwing off. Somebody decided not to screw off these joints. Who knows who? I'm not going to say any names, but screwing off. A little technique here. When you're pulling your screws out, take it and run it backwards and kind of go left or right to try to pull that screw out. Little technique. You can't see it very well in this video. This is all shot on my GoPro. This is actually taping butt joints, but assholes don't want to screw off, so that's what you get. I was putting that screw in and I drove a freaking hole directly through the joint. This is all metal stud work, by the way. So I'm cornering my mud here. Kind of see what I'm doing there. Kind of taking it and kind of lifting it off. Maybe I can get a better view of this. Maybe. No, I guess not. Well, there you go. Get your mud on that joint. Fill the holes, all the holes. Up and down, all around. There's a big old chunk right here. Yep. I'm going to peel this back and pack it with mud. Then I'm going to paste it back up. Kind of like glue. This is all-purpose mud, so it is glue in a sense. It has a lot of glue in it. It's good for taping. It does a really good job on taping. You'll know when you try to tear it off and it splinters real bad. Rather than other mud where it'll actually peel off as a whole. This stuff won't. So just run your tape down. You're going to smooth out both sides and then smooth out the middle. You don't want to leave very much mud, but you don't want some mud back there. The idea is to make sure the tape is adhered to the wall. You don't want any air pockets. You don't want any really big mud pockets. Just make sure that tape is nice, as flat as it can be. Leave some mud back there. You can see by this. Make sure the perforation in the tape is on this good side, so it should has an indent. The indent should be out. Okay, this is the second coat on these butt joints. Pulling them right here. Pulling. So I'm putting it right on top of that piece of tape, leaving the other side of the tape exposed. That side is probably the flatter side, the first side I coated right there. So I don't want to put very much mud right there. I just want to put enough there to really get that tape covered. A lot of people do these in 10-inch knives. This is a 12-inch knife. I coat all my butts in a 12. I start with a 12, I end with a 12 when it comes to the second and third coat. Tape coat is a coat, regardless of what people think. They say it's not a coat, it is. So, for your information, that's an outside corner bead, so I'm kind of filling that cup on that outside corner bead too. So that's kind of broke out kind of far, and that's because I want to make sure that this thing gets covered in 3 coats. You know what I mean? Tape coat, bed coat, skim coat. This is the bed coat here. I'm pulling it. I got a booger right here. Not a big deal. Just pull it out, reflush it. And you see that knife is about 30 degrees on the wall. You know, you want it pretty much down as low as you can, because the flatter it is, the less chance you are going to have of dragging any lines through it. I think this is the third coat. Yeah, it is. And this is a different butt joint, but it's the same premise. I'm breaking this out in 3 stripes, 2 12s on each side and a 6 down the middle. And yeah, it looks big. You see a lot of people's butt joints in all these videos and stuff where they're like real tight and small, but you know, you make do with what you got. Sometimes your framing just isn't that good. I want to make sure my butt joints get covered, so I cover them up. I put the mud to them, as it were. That's the philosophy here. And instead of putting another coat on after this coat, you can just sand it down. Yeah, there's a little more sanding. It's a little more messy, but I think you get a better product. Just, I don't want to leave it to chance. That's the fact of the matter. I break almost all my butt joints out this far. Maybe not quite this far. This one is probably particularly bad. I can see some high places in the tape. But once I'm done with this and I sand this, you will not see any tape. You'll never see any joint. It is flat, it's smooth, it's slick. Yeah, see, I'm pointing out a high point right there. Not a big deal. That high point is mud. It's not tape. So when I smooth this out, that'll probably get covered. Let's make sure here. So I feathered out both sides, about 4 inches feather. Just look and see how close my blade is to the wall when I'm doing these final coats. I mean, that thing is at like 20 degrees at this point. When you're feathering, it's more like 35. Maybe even you might even go 45 degrees on your blade. So I love it. Good luck, kids. Have fun.